How's it going, everyone? Your boy Corey here, aka Crasher, back with a new video, and ladies and gentlemen, we have ourselves a couple of pretty major topics to talk about here in this video, so let's waste no more time and get into the first topic here. This right here revolves around the YouTube channel GilvaSunner, and the 3,500 videos that have been taken down over the last few days. That's right, 3,500. So if you guys don't know who GilvaSunner is, this is a YouTuber that over the last decade plus has uploaded, ad-free mind you, various soundtracks from various Nintendo games, and by various, I'm talking about a shit ton. So you would have soundtracks from Mario games, from Star Fox games, from Super Smash Bros., things like that. Basically, anything that has to do with Nintendo games, GilvaSunner would pretty much have you covered when it comes to music. Now, unfortunately, because of the stress of the situation weighing down on Gilva, they decided to actually delete their YouTube channel this coming Friday. So the channel, after 10 plus years, is going to be straight up deleted. And that right there, in my honest opinion, is a pretty sad thing to come across. Now, while it can't exactly be argued that this was fair use, there are some defenses that can be made here, such as a lack of service from Nintendo themselves that allows their fans to access music from their games without trouble. Gilva was essentially doing God's work in the fans' eyes, as Gilva spent over a decade of their life uploading various video game soundtracks ad-free, since Nintendo won't offer a fair and serviceable way. On the note of ads, the second defense that can be made here is that this was all ad-free content. Gilva did not make a penny off of this content, and any ads that you would happen to see, it was likely because YouTube decided to put ads on said content because they can pretty much do that since it's their site. Also, in my honest opinion, uploading game music is not on the same level as uploading full episodes of TV shows and anime, as there are actual online services for fans to access those shows. Nintendo fails at that, and this here shows a pretty dark side of them, as this will impact a good amount of their fans. It also does not help their reputation either, as the whole situation with Super Mario Logan is still a thing. Long story short, a channel who did parody content, aka fair use content, with Nintendo characters got sued by Nintendo. You know where I'm going with this here. Nintendo, being a Japanese company, also doesn't understand fair use seemingly, and this just further adds fuel to the fire of Japan not caring about fair use, and there needs to be some type of consistency globally when it comes to a fair medium for how fair use works country to country. On that note of fair use, that is actually a nice transition into the next topic I want to talk about in this video, and that would be an update in regards to the whole situation with ShoPro and Suede. So Suede uploaded a video on February 1st that is titled "Every Anime YouTuber Could Be Gone Tomorrow. Hashtag ShoPro Gambit, hashtag Geoblocking for All." And this is a video that needs, I repeat, needs to be shared in the community. If you reached up to this point, ladies and gentlemen, pause the video right now, go in the description down below, and share out Suede's video. The message needs to get out there. Now, there's a part in Suede's video that is honestly really freaking alarming, and it would honestly be a lot better if you just heard it from the man himself. So let's roll the clip.
Basically, he said that there wasn't anything I could do as the claim was under Japanese jurisdiction, and as Totally Not Mark has helped people understand in his latest video, also linked in the description, Japan has a very different stance on fair use, basically non-existent. So while I could feasibly lawyer up if the claim came from the US and at least argue fair use, even if my odds might not have been great, since the videos could be seen in Japan, Japan can prosecute me, and I can't argue fair use in a country where it doesn't really exist. This was bad enough, but then the lawyer hit me with a bombshell that made everything click into place. He told me that if I refused to pay, it would cost ShoPro much more than 80,200 yen in legal fees to make me pay from New Zealand. Suddenly, it all made sense. The large but not too large fine, the vague and obtuse documentation, the fact that the fine was based on views and not revenue, this was basically an international slap suit. John Oliver did a good video on them, link in the description, but at its most basic, a slap suit or strategic lawsuit against public participation is when a plaintiff makes it needlessly difficult, confusing, or expensive for the defendant to respond, burdening them with the cost of a legal defense until they abandon their criticism or opposition. The lawyer I talked to said I have about 3 months before the judgment on that complaint goes through Japanese court, at which point the takedowns will all become official strikes. The channel will be deleted, and I'll be given the means to either pay the fine, ignore it, or fight it. If I pay, I admit fault, so the strikes stick, the channel is deleted, and the whole thing becomes legal precedent. If I ignore it, they probably won't pursue it, but the channel will still be deleted, and I'll never be able to visit Japan, one of my lifelong dreams, without the risk of being grabbed at the border and fined. If I choose to fight, I would have to spend massive amounts of money hiring an international lawyer in a country where fair use isn't really a thing. I would be 99% likely to lose and bankrupt on top of it. Basically, it was pure intimidation tactics since they don't have any financial reason to pursue the fine, but I have to spend big bucks that I don't have scrambling to translate and detangle the process if I want to even get to the point of challenging them.
So out of that near 2-minute clip, that right there already tells us a lot about this case that we didn't previously know, and now that it's out there, this right here makes me go, holy shit. This right here is a massive deal. So he basically got bullied into a needless lawsuit, and given the fact that this lawsuit came from Japan, therefore this whole thing is under Japanese jurisdiction, the guy is fighting a losing battle. That already sends chills down my spine. And ShoPro knows exactly what they're doing here. They're doing this as a way to bully a smaller creator, not just in terms of fair use content, but also in terms of money as well, because either way, Suede is fighting a massive uphill battle, and it's likely that he might end up actually losing this one, which, if that is the case, that right there is going to set a very dangerous precedent for the future of anti-poke YouTubers. Because essentially, ShoPro can then indiscriminately go around to any anti-poke channel, and despite how well edited, well detailed any of the content is, and it 150% falls under fair use, they can just, in the snap of a fingers, just simply point and click and take that video down. That's basically what this whole thing would boil down to, should Suede end up losing. And it just honestly goes to show even further what type of scumbag bullies these people really truly are. They don't care about the fans. They only care about what they can make from their products, which, you know, that's fine. But the thing is that this right here is something that could easily have been avoided, you know? I just honestly don't understand how something like ShoPro can't seem to understand a basic concept of fair use, number one, and number two, how they can't seem to understand how it would be so beneficial in every single aspect if there was some type of symbiotic relationship between the company and between the creators themselves. Like, I don't think these companies have any idea how hassle-free something like a symbiotic relationship would be, because as long as the content creators are abiding by a global standard of what fair use is, and they stick to it and make fair use content for said media, then the said media would get free publicity and possibly grow their fan base even more. Because let's take this into consideration. Let's say, as an example, Pokemon. Pokemon originated from Japan, and it was exposed to mostly a Japanese audience. Now, we ourselves a lot of English-speaking content creators that cover the Pokemon anime, and they appeal to audiences outside of Japan. They expose the Japanese product to audiences outside of Japan. You see where I'm going with this here? This would be ultimate exposure for the Japanese brand, the Japanese product, and they would attract more and more curiosity and grow their fan base more and more. But unfortunately, ShoPro doesn't exactly seem to understand nor care. And this right here further shows that they have absolutely no care in the world for their fans. It seems like that the more that we have these type of stories coming out, the more we can see that these big companies that we grew up with as children don't really care about their audiences. They don't really care about their fans. And this case right here just kind of furthers that rather grim realization here. And this is the part of the video where I say that there needs to be some type of global standard when it comes to fair use overall. From country to country, there needs to be some type of consistency when it comes to the fair use law. Like, it seems like Japan is the only company that is pretty much medieval when it comes to this. It seems like that they are in some type of medieval era when it comes to the concept of fair use. They pretty much paint all of us with too broad of a brush. They think that we are pirating their content, that we are stealing their content, when we are making content from their media that is all centered around not just our love for said media, but also centered heavily around fair use parameters. Something honestly needs to be done about this whole situation. Something really truly has to give here. Japan either needs to understand that fair use exists in pretty much every other corner of the world, and they need to adapt to the modern times, or every single country needs to come together and figure out some type of consistent standard that everyone in the world can go by when it comes to the law of fair use. But yeah, this right here, honestly, I don't know what else I can say. It seems like that as the days keep ticking by, things just get worse and worse, especially in Suede's case. Now, I'm really truly hoping that Suede can pull a rabbit out of the hat and that he wins this case, because this individual has probably got the world weighing down on him when it comes to the amount of stress and anxiety that he has to deal with out of this situation, and that originates from ShoPro being a bunch of butthurt bullies that hate their fans, that don't understand a goddamn worth about what fair use is. ShoPro, you seriously disgust me. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, that's all I have to say here in this video. I want to say thank you guys very much for watching. Thank you guys for your time as well in viewing this video. Have yourself a damn good one, and I'll be seeing you guys in the next video.